Do Not Stand at My Grave and Weep by Mary Elizabeth Fry, 1932. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I'm the thousand winds that blow. I'm the diamond glints on snow. I'm the sun on ripened grain. I'm the gentle autumn rain. And when you awaken in the morning's hush, I'm the swift uplifting rush of quiet birds in circled flight. I'm the soft stars that shine at night. Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there. I did not. What? I did not. What? I did not unalive. Mother. So here's where I'm at. You better watch what you say. Are you prepared to master the linguistic samurai art of AlgoSpeak, a new dialect that is changing our language in real time? The term AlgoSpeak is essentially a coded formula for evading censorship and moderation for users on social media platforms looking to raise or discuss topics which typically get buried or removed by social media algorithms. It refers to the practice of exchanging words and phrases that are in conflict with social media censorship algorithms with symbols or codes that convey the intended message. The offending words or phrases are replaced with innocuous words, emojis, or memes so that the user can convey the thought and message that they intended without external interference or penalization. So AlgoSpeak is becoming increasingly common across the internet as people seek to bypass content moderation filters on social media platforms such as TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitch. These users have adopted the code in an effort to create a brand-safe lexicon that will avoid getting their posts removed or downranked by content moderation systems. For example, in many online videos, it's common to say unalive rather than, see it on the screen, SA rather than, or spicy eggplant instead of, oh. And it's very common to see corn in replacement of, you guessed it. And I'm just left like, what are you doing? I mean, I don't blame the content creators at all for succumbing to this, because if you want to reach the finish line, you want to reach success, you got to pander. But at the same time, what is the purpose of this? What are you trying to solve? Language is used to communicate ideas. It serves an essential purpose, and you're manipulating it and censoring it, but it doesn't stop the conveying of that idea. It just creates more obstacles for you to navigate, and only those in the know would be able to. I mean, news to me, when the pandemic broke out, people on TikTok and other apps began referring to it as the Backstreet Boys reunion tour, or calling it the Panty or the Panda Express, as platforms downranked videos mentioning the pandemic by name in an effort to combat misinformation. And here I am just calling the kettle black. Who would have thought me wanting to discuss the pandemic, I'm going to be out here calling it, I don't know, a pandemic. And then heaven forbid you call it a kung flu, because then you're just going to throw yourself right into the shadow ban.
Alone in a silent abyss.
Language serves an essential purpose to the human experience. In the case of humans, the development of language has played a pivotal role in our ability to communicate complex thoughts, emotions, and abstract concepts. This has allowed for the transmission of knowledge across generations, the formation of complex societies, and the advancement of culture and technology. A common shared means of communication is a foundational element for the functioning of societies, fostering cooperation, understanding, and the overall well-being of individuals within a community. It's important to strike a balance between ensuring responsible communication and avoiding undue limitations on the free exchange of ideas to maintain a healthy, dynamic, and democratic society. Manipulating words and language can be a potent tool for various purposes, both positive and negative. When used in a deceptive or manipulative manner, it can pose several damages. Firstly, misinformation and propaganda. Deliberate manipulation of language can be employed to spread false information or propaganda. This can be done to influence public opinion, shape narratives, or achieve a specific political or ideological goal. Social manipulation. Language can be used to manipulate social perceptions and norms. By framing issues in a particular way, individuals or groups can shape how people perceive events, influencing their attitudes and behaviors. Of course, we have to mention gaslighting. Manipulating words and language can be used for gaslighting, where individuals or groups deliberately distort facts, deny reality, or manipulate someone's perception of events. This can lead to confusion, self-doubt, and psychological harm. Also, there's polarization and division. Language can be used to create division and polarization within a society. Manipulative rhetoric that amplifies differences, fosters fear, or demonizes certain groups can contribute to social discord and conflict. We must also mention erosion of trust. Manipulating language can undermine trust in institutions, media, and public figures. When people are exposed to deceptive language consistently, they may become skeptical and distrustful, leading to a breakdown of trust in social institutions. And of course, all these roads lead to authoritarianism. Manipulative language is often employed in authoritarian regimes to control information, suppress dissent, and maintain power. Orwellian tactics such as doublespeak can be used to obscure the true nature of actions or policies. Of course, then a symptom of this leads us to censorship and suppression. Language manipulation can be used to justify censorship or the suppression of dissenting voices. By the framing of certain ideas or opinions as dangerous or harmful, authorities may limit free expression. And finally, manipulation in advertising. In the commercial realm, manipulating language is often employed in advertising to influence consumer behavior. This can lead to deceptive marketing practices and exploitation of consumer vulnerabilities. Overall, hiding the overt attempt at controlling and manipulating human behavior disguised as the regular corporate practice of marketing. All that being said, it is essential for individuals to be aware of the potential dangers of language manipulation and to critically evaluate the information they encounter to guard against manipulation and misinformation. Additionally, promoting media literacy and critical thinking skills can help mitigate the risks associated with the manipulation of words and language. While manipulating words and language can pose its risks, it's important to note that language is a powerful tool and can also have its positives. Here are some potential advantages of using language strategically. Firstly, effective communication. Manipulating language can enhance communication by making messages more clear, persuasive, and impactful. This can lead to better understanding and cooperation among individuals or groups. There's also persuasion and advocacy. Strategic use of language can be employed to advocate for positive causes, mobilize support, and persuade others to take action. This is often used in activism, social movements, and campaigns for social change. Tune into the Rethink Tank. There's also conflict resolution. Skillful manipulation of language can be a valuable tool in conflict resolution. Diplomats, negotiators, and mediators often use language to bridge gaps, build understanding, and find common ground. Choosing words carefully, framing issues strategically, and using persuasive techniques can contribute to successful negotiations and agreements. Consider inspiration and motivation. Language manipulation can be used to inspire and manipulate individuals or groups. Well-crafted speeches, slogans, and messages can ignite passion, instill a sense of purpose, and drive positive change. There's also artistic expression. Language manipulation is the core of creative expression, including literature, poetry, music, and other forms of art. Artists use language to evoke emotion, convey meaning, and create beauty. It's also a very important piece to education and information. In the educational context, language manipulation can be employed to make complex concepts more accessible and engaging. It can facilitate effective teaching and knowledge transfer. Of course, we also find it oftentimes in brand messaging and marketing, but also on the positive side. In the business world, strategic language use is essential for building strong brand messaging. Marketers use language to create compelling narratives, connect with consumers, and differentiate products or services. And finally, building positive narratives. Language can be used to shape positive narratives that promote understanding, tolerance, and unity. Constructive framing of issues can contribute to a more harmonious and inclusive society. So in conclusion, it is important to recognize that the ethical use of language is crucial, and the line between positive and negative manipulation can be thin. Responsible and mindful communication is essential to ensure that language is used for constructive purposes that contribute to the well-being of individuals and society. So here's where I'm at. If the end goal here is not manipulation and control, then what are we trying to accomplish here? But I mean, really, what does changing the word solve if the new word still means the same thing? When I was in high school in debate, there was a congressional bill proposed to legally change the word from the R word to intellectually disabled. Okay, and I say the R word because I ain't risking it. You know how I ain't going back into jail. I'm a good boy. Catch me on Twitch maybe, but I ain't doing it. But again, what does legally changing the word solve? I'll just go call my friends intellectually disabled if I really wanted to convey the same message. The R word's way too fun. I'm going to be sticking with that one, but I'm just saying that doesn't solve the problem. You know, it goes back to a Louis C.K. bit. He goes, for 100 years, we called them the R word, the R word, the R word. And then just magically one day we were like, you're not that anymore. And they're like, oh my God, you fixed me? No. We haven't even begun that. So again, you haven't changed anything. The facts of the matter are still that. The kettle is still black. And why are we not allowed to call facts of the matter exactly that? We're living in this world of delusion, but it still doesn't separate us from the reality because the words still are associated with their meaning. So again, if there is any virtue, it's nonsensical because the result is truly control and manipulation. So how do we beat it? How do we beat AlgoSpeak, Big Brother control? I'm forced to remind you the strength in numbers. That's why there's so much effort put into keeping us lost in the delusion of division and isolation. A perfect metaphor to explain how to solve this issue. If you're a Browns fan, this will really resonate with you, but there was a football player that played for the Browns, Josh Gordon. At his prime, he was quite literally the best wide receiver, but he just couldn't break his habit of smoking marijuana. At the time, the NFL had a strict no-tolerance policy. Now, they tend to let it bend a little bit, but strict no-tolerance policy. As a result, Josh Gordon ran into a lot of issues with the NFL. Constant suspension because he couldn't pass the drug tests, constantly finding marijuana in his system. So, of course, Josh Gordon infuriated all of Cleveland because while plenty of people may even partake for millions of dollars and the claim to greatness, you can't just put it down for 6 months so we can get to the Super Bowl. So the theory I propose is this. If Josh Gordon was not in the wrong for continuing that behavior, one that was found illegal or dangerous, and the rest of the league, the rest of the tribe, also found it to be not dangerous and in disagreement with the league's rules. One way to beat it is for everybody all together in unison. Tom Brady, the kickers, everybody come out and smoke a joint all together at once. Now we're all going to fail the drug test. What are you going to do? Move forward without an NFL? We're the greatest. You could try to fill up the spots, but it's not going to meet the level and standard of this high competition that we provide you. And so in unison, power in numbers, they can force their will upon the league. But that would require Tom Brady. That would require all of the folks, the linemen. And to do this in unison, that's an impossible but very difficult feat at best. And the reality is this. That's what it takes to beat AlgoSpeak. And so if I want to talk about your OF account, I can't say your OnlyFans account, even though we both know exactly what we're talking about. And heaven forbid we have any acknowledgement of what you're selling. No. We got to call it vegetables. You're just out here a corn slinger. You got to stop placating. Stop playing it safe. Call it for what it is. Recognize that the sole purpose for language is to convey messages and the important result in humanity that comes from that. People don't get offended when you can't say the word ask because they're cruel and racist and don't have empathy for your culture. No, the reality is this isn't easy. Language, I hated English. Going to law school, it forced me to become a master of English. And so being able to articulate yourself and having a deep lexicon, reading the dictionary maybe once or twice, that's not an easy thing to do, but it's an important tool. And mastering it wasn't easy. So to sit here and change the rules and make us get lazy with language benefits nobody. And it's the antithesis to what evolutionized the human experience to where we're at today. So in conclusion, I'm your Josh Gordon. I can't stop calling it for what it is. I see the value in language and appreciate the art in mastering it. And unfortunately, that's become a jailable offense. So you have to ask yourself, even when you don't agree, do you see the value in fostering an environment that allows for opposing perspectives? Is there a harm in losing the Josh Gordons of the league? And if you do, if you feel so, we have to stand in unison. We have to stand against AlgoSpeak together. So we should all just walk out, holding arms, and scream to the heavens, rethink!